All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Thursday morning. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I pray you and your family are very blessed in many ways as the Bitcoin price is pumping, baby. We are pumping, woohoo! And we are coming up to a very key level of resistance, guys. If we reclaim this key level of resistance, oh man, I'm excited about what could happen here, guys. We are coming up to our white box of mystery and wonder. This box is literally the determining factor of the conversation we're going to have with our family at Thanksgiving. If we can come above this box, we're going to be victoriously telling all our family who doubted us how rich we are and how they were stupid for not buying Bitcoin when we told them to at $113,168.80. And everybody's going to be jealous of us. We're finally going to get to tell our boss, I quit. He's going to ask you to do something. You're going to be like, heck no, bro. I'm out of here, man. You should have bought Bitcoin, but now you're stuck here under the corporate pressure, making all your employees stressed out for no reason while I'm at home eating Thanksgiving turkey with my family with my Bitcoin. All right? But if we don't reclaim this box, we're going to have to be going into work early, apologizing to our bosses. We're going to be sitting there at Thanksgiving dinner eating turkey, and our family's going to be asking us, Jason, are you okay? I heard that Bitcoin's down. And as you're holding back tears, you're going to try and tell them that everything's going to be okay. And this is the box. This is the box that we have been waiting for our whole lives, guys. This is the moment. As the title of the video says, it happens today. Now we got to give a major shout out to KCEX, which today is giving away they're giving away $1,000 to 10 winners. 10 winners, or 10 people are going to win $100 today. And also, if we get 1,000 likes in the first half hour of the stream, we will be giving away $1,000, right? 1,000 likes during the stream, we will be giving away $1,000. Make sure to smash the likes, guys. Also, we got to give a major shout out to the Casper crew. JasonCasperTrading.com. Click the link to join the VIP Discord, where we walk you through our plans, our trades. All right, giving the trades in real time. Right, the setups in advance, letting you guys know when we're taking the trades, letting everybody know about my long trades, my short trades, the current long trade that we are in right now. We've been planning for it since August. All right, for that big drop down to around 107. All right, letting the community know that I've taken a long trade in the live streams from the setup that we were waiting for. Currently in the trade right now, up right now, like 18 grand? Wow, 18 grand. That's crazy. Might as well screenshot that for the Twitter in case it goes back down to zero. Make sure to get your screenshots in now for the Thanksgiving conversations in case crypto goes to zero. Look, unrealized profits can live forever if you take a screenshot. All right, it's a little pro tip. A little pro tip. All right. Unrealized profits can last forever if you take a screenshot. They'll be with you forever in your heart. Now, guys, I'm also trading on BLOFIN and WEEX. ANTARCTIC. Also, if you know how to trade, but you don't have money, check out Klein Funding, crypto prop firm, runs on Bitget. Excellent coupons in the description of the video for these funded accounts. Instant Pro, you don't even have to pass a challenge. You could trade a $50,000 account for about $1,000. Not bad, honestly. Not bad, honestly. As the Bitcoin price is pumping up to $113,000, we're going to be taking a look here at the order flow. Alright, we went straight Australian on you. Alright. Let's take a look at what happened yesterday. You guys saw me take a loss yesterday. You guys saw me try and long $110,000 right here. Boom! You guys saw me lose $1,700 yesterday. Man, that was tough, right? Well, we ended up getting a move back to the upside, okay? We ended up getting moved back to the upside. Now, when we came down here yesterday, this is very important. I want to highlight what happened down here. All right. Now, remember, on Tuesday, when we did our live stream, this green box here was our box of mystery and wonder that we wanted to hold. We wanted to hold this box, right? Well, guess what? We held that box, and from that point, we've continued to make higher lows on the chart. All right, let's just look at the trend line here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to turn this trend line yellow, or as I say back home in Mexico, amarillo. Amarillo. We're holding higher lows. Now, as we're holding higher lows, I want you to notice the open interest in the CVD, all right? The open interest is increasing over time here. The CVD was getting lower over time here, basically showing us that as we came down to this area, we saw bullish absorption. We saw big players holding the price up here. We saw a lot of shorts opening when we lost $110,000. Lots of shorts. Look at this. We're seeing increases of open interest here. We're seeing 33 million shorts opening, 91 million shorts. All right. We're seeing 15 million shorts, 64 million shorts, 9 million shorts, 33 million shorts, 91 million shorts. People are shorting the bottom. And as they're shorting the bottom, because we're seeing the price making a higher low, we can see that there were big players holding price up here. There were people interested in pushing Bitcoin up. And ever since we've gotten this bullish CVD divergence here, we have started to see an actual strong, healthy move. All right, this move to the upside so far right here is strong and healthy. It's strong and healthy. What do I mean, strong and healthy? Well, goes to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. Heavy compound lifts, squats, benches, deadlifts, bent rows, dips, pull-ups. Eats a healthy diet of whole foods. And we can tell all these facts about the price because of the increase of open interest and the increase of CVD. So there was basically bullish absorption happening here. Big players were holding price up, and now the money's actually coming in, right? The money's actually coming in now. So this is very, very interesting times because we are poking on up to our box of hope and wonder. Our box of hope and wonder, the Thanksgiving box, the Thanksgiving box of hope and wonder. We have to put some vowels in here in order to make it pronounceable, but this is the Tagabo, the Thanksgiving box of hope and wonder, which if we reclaim, we will all be able to quit our jobs, including myself. All right, I'm going to finally tell the boss what I really think of him. I think my boss is an absolute idiot. All right, I think he's an absolute idiot, always making a fool out of himself. My boss, he's the kind of guy that will wear like a tight blue V-neck with a white hat backwards and sideways as a 35-year-old white guy looking like a total dude. Probably drives an Audi. Honestly, dude, my boss probably drives an Audi. I've never seen his car, but he probably drives an Audi. All right. Just saying. I'm going to tell him how I really think. All right. Dude's always so sweaty, smells bad, doesn't use soap. Okay. Now, let's pop on over to the Bitcoin chart here. We got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. Shout out to Odin. Shout out to Bobcat. Shout out to Fred Sloan. Shout out to Retail Ryan. Shout out to Jose. Shout out to Roth Poker. Shout out to Crypto Casino by Kasara. Sell the news. Short it. Christopher. I'm short 100x and it's gone. You're short. You're short. All right, people are short. When people are looking to get Ferrari, shout out to Doriani June. Shout out to Stefania Mariar. Can you tell us if you had good results with the trading bot on Mark Cipher B? I can't really tell you, I guess. Shout out to Magamax Cherry. Shout out to Splash Fire Films in the house. Guys, remember, make sure to smash the likes. If we get 1,000 likes in the first half hour, we'll be giving away $1,000. Also, make sure to sign up to KCEX using my link because we're giving away $1,000 today, courtesy of KCEX. Not only will we get the lowest fees in the game on KCEX, all right, but you will also have a chance to win $100. You don't have to deposit anything, all right? Also, BLOFIN, 10% cash back, all that good stuff. You can get a chair and a camera, and you know how much I love chairs and cameras. I could just sit there all day taking selfies. Now, shout out to everybody in the chat. May God bless you, all right? Shout out Matt Major. Whoa. Kelly Kellum in the chat. What's going on, my bro? Shout out to you. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for popping on by the stream. Appreciate you, bro. Tina D, I've been thinking it was a day later for the past couple weeks. I always do that. I never know what day it is, guys. All right. I never know. It's a trap weekend. Shout out to Hans. He says, may the coins be with you today, Jason. I hope so. Shout out to Snackboard. He says Friday. It's a Friday? Yeah, did I say Thursday? Guys, it's a Friday, man. See, look, I literally don't know what day it is, all right? I don't know. I never know. And you know what else? I don't even care. I don't know, and I do not care what day it is anymore, all right? I'm telling you, man, trading will do some crazy things to you, all right? It will do some crazy things to you. It will turn you into like a, you know, it'll just do some crazy things. Let me just put it that way. Now, let's talk about what is happening right now, guys. I mean, come on, let's get serious. All right, you guys keep joking around, procrastinating. Let's get serious around here. If we take a look at the chart, all right, let's notice the most important things. That's not it at all, is it? Oh, come on, Jason, you gotta pretend like you know what you're talking. Okay, here we go. Look. Right now, the Bitcoin price is attempting to get a move back inside the previous range fair value zone. Why is this so significant? Well, for the past few weeks, since Thursday, July 10th, 2025, the market, that's us, guys, we've established the fair price for Bitcoin being in this box between the prices of about 113.5 and about $120.5 thousand. Whenever the price comes below the fair value zone, we could look for a move to the top of the fair value zone. Whenever price comes below the top of the fair value zone, we could look for a move back down to the bottom of the fair value zone, where we look for a long. Now this, of course, we looked for a long, all right? It didn't happen the way that we wanted, but we did get a little bit of a bounce, all right? And we got a little bit of a bounce. And, you know, look, if you're in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, we capitalized on the juicy bounce, all right? Locking in the juiciest profits at jasoncaspertrading.com. But I'm sure a lot of you got that trade if you're not in the Casper Crew VIP Discord at jasoncaspertrading.com. Speaking of the Discord, guys, I do have to say one last thing, which is this. We have implemented something new in the Discord, which is we are giving away eggs for participation, all right? If you gather enough eggs in the Discord, you can enter raffles to win cash giveaway prizes. Now this is free this is in the free Discord, not just the paid Discord. The paid Discord people, VIP, they get 3 times the eggs of non-paid Discord members. But we take a look here in the Discord over here in the egg rewards section. All right, there's going to be a quest over here. All right, a quest in the quest channel. All right, inside this quest channel, there's going to be something for you to do during this live stream. You have to go in there. There's a secret code, and the secret code is chicken feet. All right, the secret code is chicken feet. So if you go in here today, join the free Discord, link in the description. If you're in the VIP Discord, you can go ahead and do it too. You're going to get 3 times the amount of eggs. All right, every single day too, you can get some eggs. All right, you can claim your eggs, and you can use these eggs. Like I said, we're going to be giving away cash prizes and more for people who are participating in the live streams and in the Discord. So make sure to go check it out. All right, the code, the secret code for the quest for today's challenge, I guess it's not really a challenge, it's a quest, is chicken feet. All right, go type in chicken feet, join the Discord, link in the description of this video, the free Discord, and type in chicken feet in the quest channel in the Discord, and you'll get some eggs, get enough eggs, and you'll be getting some good juicy stuff. Now, as we approach this area here, if we can come back inside and hold this, the probabilities are highest that we actually come back up to around $120.5 thousand. Why is that true? Well, first of all, look at this, guys. All right, we have been forming here this series of And look, we could draw this in many different ways, but really, I would say even just, I'm just going to draw it like this, okay? Let's actually just draw it like this. We have been forming a series of lower highs on the way down. This move to the downside, in my opinion, has looked very corrective. Very corrective. What do I mean by that? I mean, it looks like a correction from the last big impulse to the upside. We had a big impulse, and this move looks very corrective. Why do I say it looks very corrective? Because it's not a big impulse to the downside. It's a slow, grindy, painful move to the downside. And as we're making this slow, painful, grindy move to the downside, what have we been seeing happening? We have been seeing massive amounts of shorts opening up. We've seen many shorts opening up. Let's take a look here. Wow, look at this. Let's take a look here at the order flow chart. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, it's like it's the summertime. People are throwing away their long pants and they're buying shorts. Look at this. Ever since this big spike here, we got this fake out with the Jerome Powell speech. Look at the sharp increase of open interest and look at the sharp decline of CBD. We've seen many shorts open up here, which means if we reclaim that level, we're going to enter into short squeeze city, and we're going to squeeze back up to the top of the range, which is around $120,000. Now, in addition to that, if we take a look at our indicator, aka market cipher B, all right, the best indicator on TradingView, we can see a few interesting things. First of all, on the 2-day time frame, now this is what really gets me more excited than that time me and Carl from the moon drove to McDonald's in his what was it? Was it a Lamborghini?
Hello, I would like to get a Big Mac meal.
Because when I look at this 2-day chart, we are seeing a massive continuation pattern about to confirm in 10 hours, and that is this green dot right here. The green dot is not just any old green dot, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, lady and gentlemen, I see the analytics. What we have here is a bullish divergence right down here. Then we have ourselves a continuation pattern right here in June. And now we have another continuation pattern, which is this. The price is making a higher low, and the momentum waves on market cipher B are making a lower low. It's called a hidden bullish divergence. It's a continuation pattern. Now, what are we continuing from? Where are we bouncing from right now? We are bouncing from none other than the Fibonacci golden pocket from June's low to the all-time high. This is very significant because remember, we're saying this entire move down looks corrective, meaning it doesn't look like it's like a start of a downtrend. It looks like it's a correction in an uptrend. And what's the most likely place to bounce if you're going to get a correction or a retracement in an uptrend? The Fibonacci golden pocket. Not only is this the Fibonacci golden pocket, guys, but we also did take the liquidity from July 4th, 2025 right down here. All right. And now we are seeing confirmed hidden bullish divergence on the daily. We're seeing unconfirmed yet soon to be confirmed hidden bullish divergence on the 2-day. When we go to our 4-hour time frame, guys, all right, I mean, this is just beautiful, all right? This really does look very nice. Why? Because as we were getting lower here, specifically like in this area right here, okay? Like, I want you to just look at this structure right here. Remember, this is the place where we're seeing all those millions of shorts opening up. Millions of shorts opening up from this point of the loss of this level until this point. Like, tons of them. As these shorts are opening up, market cipher B is bottoming out with the momentum waves and starting to curve back to the upside. The money flow has bottomed out and is starting to curve back to the upside. When you see lots of shorts opening at key support and you're seeing hidden bullish divergences forming on the high time frames and regular bullish divergences forming on the low time frames, see, people always say, market cipher B is a lagging indicator, Jason. You stupid idiot. Look, maybe you're the stupid idiot. Because before the bottom was in, all right, before the bottom was in, before the support was even tapped, all right, let's take a look at that. All right. before the support was even tapped, what was happening on market Cipher B? All right, before the support was tapped. All right, we didn't go back far enough. Let's go back farther. We don't have to go back farther. Before this level was tapped, okay, we were seeing the momentum waves and the money flows getting higher, okay? Before the support was tapped, we can clearly draw a line from the bottom of this momentum wave to the candle before the level was hit. See, it's getting higher. We can clearly draw a line from the money flow to the money flow. Clearly, it's getting higher before the bottom is in, all right? It's a leading indicator. And so when you see the money flow on the 4-hour getting higher, that's very juicy. Now, fast forward to today. What do we see? We see the money flow has crossed from the purple into the blue. This is super bullish. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but we're seeing bullish indications on the chart. You know? Let's take off everything here. Let's just take off everything here. All right? Everything. I just want the money flow only. I don't want no dots. I don't want nothing. I just want the money flow. Yeah. That's what I want, baby. Just give me that juicy money flow, that velvety purple and blue. Ooh, it's looking so good, isn't it? Yeah. Now, let's take a look at this. Look at this, all right? Just look at it here. Just take a look. When we get the cross from the purple into the blue, what happens? All right, we get the cross right here. What happens? Boom, a big old pump. All right, let's take a look at the other times it happens. All right, look at this. You know, we've got money flow in the purple. It crosses into the blue for a little bit. We get a big pump. All right. Now, of course, we're looking at, we really want to see multiple confluences here. But look at what happens here. Look what happens here. When the price gets lower and the money flow gets higher. All right. This is the main point. When the price gets lower and the money flow gets higher, and then we cross into the blue. That's the big one, man. Boom. All right. So right now, we've got that same kind of pattern. We're seeing the price get lower, the money flow getting higher, and then the cross, all right? Looks like it could be the big one, right? Now, combine this with the fact that we're seeing a hidden bullish divergence, a continuation pattern on the higher time frames. What happened here? What happened on the high time frames here? Oh, that's right. Continuation pattern on the high time frames. The 2-day was giving us the continuation pattern, just like the 2-day is giving us the continuation pattern now. So all these things combined make me think we could see one last big push to the upside. And I could be wrong. You know, but hey, look, if I'm wrong, whatever, right? I'm the one that has $300,000 on a dang long trade right now. I need some more coffee here, man. This is stressful thinking about this. But here's the thing. I've come to trust my indicator, all right? So I've come to trust Market Cipher and the signals it gives. Let's go ahead and put on Market Cipher B again here. So yeah, I do think we could see a push. Now, of course, if we reject from 115,000, look, then that's why I'm saying I expect the higher high to come in only if we can get a move above this level and hold. We get a move above this level and hold, boom, it's Rocket Ship City, baby. We're going straight to Rocket Ship City. Rocket Ship City, man. You guys ever been there to Rocket Ship City? I've been there once or twice in my life to Rocket Ship City. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to go to Rocket Ship City, man. I'll tell you. Okay? So that's the deal with the Bitcoin right now. And of course, you know, we're coming to the... We do have a few confluences here. A local Fibonacci golden pocket at around $115,000. All right, so that's why the box on our chart, the box of... I forget what it's called. What is it called? The Thanksgiving box? The Thanksgiving box of hope and wonder, or as we call it back home where I live from, we call it Tagabo. Tagabo, right? We reclaim Tagabo, and boom, baby, off to the races. Now, remember, Tagabo, we do have to be careful, because Tagabo is also the 618 Fibonacci, and we know that 618 Fibonacci is one tricky little girl, all right? Our high school crush. That girl who we thought really was into us. She would laugh at our jokes, and she would let us carry her books to class, and we would let her copy our tests in our biology lab so she could get good grades and go to a good college and all that kind of stuff. You thought you were going to ask her out, get matching Ben coin tattoos on your neck and hand, live happily ever after off your crypto gains, white picket fence, maybe a dog, you know, maybe a little above ground pool in the back, you know. But when you asked her out, what did she do? She gave you the hand, she gave you the face. She said, Jason, you know, I like you as a friend. Whew, tough, right? Rejection. Now, this rejection happened, why? Well, it's because she didn't like nice guys like Jason Casper, just a normal old guy, you know, nothing fancy. Just a normal guy, normal hair, normal 5 o'clock shadow for a high school junior, normal flannel, unbuttoned, a little bit of shirt, you know. She liked criminals like this man down here, Sam Bankman-Fried. Now, Sam Bankman-Fried, if you notice something about him, he had a very peculiar looking pectoral set here. The left man boob was much larger than the right. This is what drove 6Juanito absolutely wild. Woof, man, let me tell you. You look in those eyes, you can tell what she's thinking about. Even the eyes are a little uneven. Okay? So, what does this mean? You know? I'll tell you what it means. It means this, guys. If we get a move up to this box, and we're seeing our bearish divergences, Sam Bankman-Fried's man boob's getting lower, then I'd say there actually is a chance that we reject here. So we need to really watch this. In my opinion, the 24-minute is going to be key here. The 24-minute, we want to see this money flow continuing to get thicker here. We don't want to see this money flow start to taper off like this. If we start to see the money flow taper off like this, and we start to see the momentum waves do this as we come to the 6Juanita, then I'd say we're not going to reclaim it. Not today. Not today. It's probably going to be next week. The high time frames for me are still bullish here. But if we're seeing our bearish divergences into this box, it means rejection. Now, if we get the rejection, what does that mean? It means one of two things. It means either we make a higher low and we get to move back down to maybe around $110,000 over the weekend, and then we can start to pump again next week. Because honestly, with these high time frame divergences confirming, I have to say next week looks pretty dang bullish. I mean, look at the 3-day, right? The 3-day money flow getting thicker, momentum wave about to print a dot, right? But the second possibility here is this, guys, and I just want to be real. The second real possibility is basically a massive stop hunt. Okay, a massive stop hunt. Remember, this is not your hometown 6Juanita. All right, this girl is way out of our league. Let's be honest. She is way out of her. She is a hot cheerleader, popular, lots of friends. She's friends with the youngest billionaire in the world, Sam Bankman-Fried, a successful young businessman who loves to do meth in the Bahamas and give money to governments. Right? This is the real deal 6Juanita. Now let's also remember this level, this Thanksgiving box of hope and wonder. This is literally, like I said, the deciding factor between what conversation we have with our family on Thanksgiving. Whether we're going to tell them we're rich now, we can quit our job, or we're going to be crying that we're broke, and that thank you so much for making this turkey dinner because this is the only food I'll be able to afford until next Thanksgiving. Because this I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm bullish, but if this is the top, like I'm just scenarioing here, if this literally is the top of the bull market, which I'm very highly doubtful it is, this is going to be our next lower high. All right, because we have lost the fair value zone, and now we're rejecting from it again. All right, instead of reclaim. The reclaim means rocket ship city. The rejection means bear city. But here's the thing: even if we reject, I still think that there's hope here for a bullish scenario. Why do I say that? Well, because remember, the asset is always trading in a sideways range, and right now we have a pretty clearly defined sideways range, where the highs of our range are the previous resistance, which got flipped into support, and the lows of our range right now are down here at about $107,000, which means if we reject from here and we take out the highs of the range, then we could look simply to come back down to the bottom of the range, take the lows again, and then boom. And if this happens, all right, if this does happen, how are things going to be looking on good old market Cipher B? Let's just predict, let's draw. This is what I love to do. Draw what I would like to see on market Cipher B. Hmm. 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 Uneven butt cheek pattern galore. You know, we take a look at market Cipher B. Do we have any butt cheeks? Do we have any butt cheeks?
Let's look at market Cipher B. Do we have any butt cheeks? Oh, yeah, we have billions and billions of butt cheeks. This is going to be huge.
You get what I'm saying, right? It's going to be looking lots of bullish divergences if we do get the move down once again. And we're going to see continued money flow getting higher here. I mean, if you ever see the price making a lower low on the 4 hour and the money flow used to be purple and now it's blue, that is insane, man. That is absolutely insane. It's very rare. It's very rare. It's so rare. It has not even been on the grill for 1 second. It's raw. It's raw. It's more than rare. It's raw. All right. You take that filet mignon, right? You cover it in butter. You're getting ready to put it on a hot grill just to give it a nice sear. Then you decide, you know what? Why would I waste the time cooking this meat? I'm going to keep it raw, baby. And you keep it raw. And the price makes a lower low. And the momentum wave makes a higher low. All right? And you think to yourself, look, there's a chance here I could get some kind of serious foodborne illness. But probably not. I mean, look, as much as we love to talk crap on the USDA, I mean, they're pretty good with keeping us healthy. Let's be honest. I mean, people ain't dropping dead of foodborne illness all over the place here. Right? I'll take my chances. And probably, you're probably right. Honestly, because those chances, those probabilities are pretty high. You know? I'll be honest. You know? I'll be honest. And look, I'm not the only one who thinks we're going to pump around here. All right?
We're gonna pump, no we're gonna dump. We're gonna pump, no we're gonna dump. We're gonna pump, no we're gonna dump. We're gonna pump.
Look, there's other YouTubers out there also saying we're gonna pump, baby. Alright? Now, that's pretty much how I'm feeling with Bitcoin. I want to take a look at Ethereum here. The one thing about Bitcoin that really gets me hyped up, honestly, is this 3-day. Alright? Here's why the 3-day gets me hyped. Oh, man. It is looking so good. The reason why the 3-day gets me hyped, and we looked at the 2-day and how we're printing a hidden bull div here. Technically, we're printing a hidden bull div on the 3-day as well. But look at this, okay? On the 3-day, we're printing a continuation pattern as the money flow has dipped into the purple a little bit here and is now getting thicker. All right? This really looks like... Man, oh man. I mean, this is crazy, man. This is I'm telling you, the adrenaline rush is crazy. It's like the time I was running from the cops, trading and driving, all right? They said, Jason, get out of the car and walk the light line. I said, I can't, officer. I'm drunk on the candles. All right? These purple candles, these blue and purple candles, it's like sipping on lean, baby. I'm telling you, it's like sipping on lean. I'm losing my coordination. We're pumping, we're dumping, we're zigzagging, we're getting chopped up, we're losing all our money. I can't focus on the road, officer. All right. Here we are, guys, approaching the key zone, and we have to take a look at ETH. ETH, of course, we're going to be looking at ETH. Ether way. We're going to be looking at some other assets. But we got to give a major shout out also to everybody in the chat here. And also we got to give a major shout out to Crypto Lifer. Sam Price for the cameo. Shout out to Crypto Lifer. Make sure to go subscribe, guys, to Crypto Lifer. Yeah, let's talk about the code. If you guys want to be eligible for giveaways, join my free Discord, link in the description. Join the free Discord, link in the description. And in the Discord, in the free Discord, for this public live stream, you can claim 1 egg per person. If you're in the VIP Discord, you get 5 eggs. You have to enter the correct code. The correct code is chicken feet. Chicken feet. I'm sorry, it's 2 words. Chicken feet. All right? Go ahead and type chicken feet in the quests channel. You're going to collect eggs. All right? Chicken feet. Some people are already doing it in here. Chicken feet, chicken feet, chicken feet. and you will get an egg if you're not in the VIP. If you're in the VIP, you'll get 5 eggs. Collect enough eggs, you'll be winning prizes and all this kind of stuff. Cash prizes, giveaways, all that kind of stuff. Check it out. All right. Also, we're going to be doing a $1,000 giveaway today. All right. So what that means is if you want to be eligible, we're going to do 10 $100 giveaways. Maybe we'll do 5 $200 giveaways. We'll do 5 $200 giveaways. How about that? That's juicier. 5 $200 giveaways. Nah, we'll do 10 $100 giveaways. More chances to win. What you got to do is just sign up to KCEX using the link in the description of the video. It's in the pinned comment over here. All right. Sign up to KCEX for a chance to win $100. All you got to do is sign up. You don't have to deposit anything. If you win, you get $100 to trade with over on good old KCEX. All right. Someone says the Discord link is not working. Let's fix that ASAP. This should work. This is my eternal link. This is the link. All right. Right here. This is the link. And if it, I'll just double check that, but that should be the link. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it works right here. Live for you guys. All right. Yeah, it works. All right, it works. It works, guys. All right. So sign up for the eggs. Sign up to KCEX for the money. And let's see. We said if we get 1,000 likes in the first half hour, we'll give away $1,000 cash to one person. But it looks like even though we have over 1,000 people in the chat, we only have 370 likes. Do you know what that does to a man's self-esteem? Do you know what that does to a man's self-esteem? I mean, honestly, I'll tell you. It really makes me feel like the lowest of the low. I mean, my self-worth is completely wrapped up in how many likes and views my YouTube videos get. All right. Now I'm in a good mood, come down. Wife's like, why are you such a good mood today, Jay? I got a lot of likes on YouTube today. I'm just feeling so good. Come down looking depressed. What's wrong, Jay? Man, I don't even know what I'm living for anymore. Big Butts 28, but I had 1,000 viewers and only 300 likes. I must really be a horrible, worthless person. And then I look on social media at other crypto YouTubers. They have billions of likes, billions of subscribers. I'm like, what's wrong with me? You know? Then I start questioning everything. Is it my armpit smell? Maybe. Next thing you know, I'm in the shower, scrubbing with soap. I'm doing crazy things. I'm putting on deodorant. You know, getting some Cologne. Going to the store, buying some dang Cologne, spraying it all over. Don't care if the perfume lowers my dang testosterone. What's more important, testosterone or YouTube likes? I mean, come on. You know? Should be hanging out with my kids, but instead I'm sitting in my room thinking how I can get more YouTube likes. Because what's more important, guys? Family or YouTube likes? You know? So make sure to like the stream. Here's the thing. If we can get... We've got over 1,000 people in the house. Which is another word for house. But, look. Can we pump the likes up to 1,000? Can we pump the likes up to 1,000? If we can, maybe I'll be feeling generous. You know? We got a bullish divergence forming on the likes. Okay, let's take a look at some other assets here. We gotta give a major shout out to Arvind. He says, hi bro, you are a pretty good analyst. Thank you, man. God bless you. And you know what? I'll bet you're a pretty good analyst too. Duke wants to earn chicken feet. Have I ever heard of Hero FX? Never heard of it, but there's tons of stuff out there. Shout out to Preparing for War. Shout out to Curl K. He says online. Did you mean unlike or online? Well, if you unliked it, Curl K, I guess that really, like I said, next thing you know, I'll be in the shower with my deodorant. Shout out to Splashfire. Shout out to Real John Doe. Shout out to Mr. K. Shout out to Master Ghoul. Only 5 eggs. Yeah, bro. Only 5 eggs. What do you think? We're going to be giving away billions and billions of butt cheeks over here? Alright, let's take a look at some other assets, man. Woof. ETH looking kind of juicy. Let's see. Oh, man. Okay, let's take a look at Ethereum, guys. Okay. Good old Ethereum. Now, people are always like, Jason, it's Ethereum, not Ethereum. It's Ethereum, not Ethereum. Guys, it's Ethereum, okay? Look, more people call it Ethereum than call it Ethereum. Most people call it Ethereum. You know, I'm talking about the normies, all right? Not us crypto folk, the normies. All right? Like, I was at work the other day. My friend knows I'm into Bitcoin. He's like, hey, Jay, I know you're into Bitcoin, right? You know, I finally decided maybe I should look into it. You know, I heard somebody say, you ever heard of Michael Saylor? Well, anyway, so I went to Coinbase.com, right? And I looked at Bitcoin. It was just so expensive. But there's this other one. Ethereum, I think, was called. You ever heard of that? Ever heard of Ethereum, Jay? Yeah, I've heard of it. He's like, you know, I think that one could be the next Bitcoin. What do you think? Right? Most people call it Ethereum. Now, let's take a look here, right? Let's just do some objective top-down analysis. Because I'll be honest with you, I've been a Ethereum bull way back since I've been super bullish ever since we came down and reclaimed 1600. All right, ever since we reclaimed this, super dang bullish, right? I've been extraordinarily bullish ever since the monthly time frame started to give us this bottom here. All right, so we're talking back in May when this thing was starting to curve up. Extraordinarily bullish. The reason why I'm so bullish here is because never, ever, ever, ever in history, guys, have we seen an oversold momentum wave on market Cipher B on the monthly while Bitcoin is at a new all-time high. All right, we only ever have seen this in the heat of a bear market, of a deep bear market, okay? So we're seeing this in a bull market, and we also saw ETH dip back down into bear market prices. This was the bear market zone. ETH dips back into the bear market support zone, and now officially we have broken out of this 4-year. All right, this is so important. I mean, this is so important. The time frames are important here. Don't forget that the higher the time frame, the more important the level, okay? This trend line has been happening since 2021. It's a 4-year resistance. We had ourselves tap, tap, fake out, fake out. Now we've broken out. We've closed a monthly candle, our August candle, above that level. Not only did we close the August candle above the level, but we have a really healthy looking August candle. We have a really healthy wick to the downside, and then a close above. This is a very healthy looking chart. All right, in addition to this, we take the volume of all of this. We came to backtest that value area high at around 3,420. This is, in my opinion, this is the monthly chart, a very strong breakout, backtest, close above, which means, in my opinion, there's more upside to be had here. Now, if we go ahead and we take our Fibonacci extension from the bear market low to the previous bull market high to the low that we made here, all right, you can see that our targets to the upside based on Fibonacci extensions are going to be around 5,500. This is not actually exact because I'm not using the magnet tool, but I know actually for certain, because I have used the magnet tool, that the target is around $5,500 for our next big target for ETH, a 1-to-1, meaning we're going to get just as much this bull run as we did last bull run, but then our 1.618 Fibonacci, which would be my next major target, would just be under 8,500. And then my moonshot potential ETH target would be the 2-to-1 Fibonacci extension at around 10,000. All right. Of course, we do have a $6,700 target in the middle there. These are actual targets for me for ETH to the upside, and I don't think that's too crazy, considering the fact that not only is that the fib targets, but guys, we're also literally forming a massive triangle, right? It's a massive triangle, 4 years that we're breaking out of. And also, if we take our... Let's go ahead and just take the trend line. Right? We're going to take our trend line from the low to the high. We're going to put it up here. Look, we're coming right up to the 1.618 based on the most basic TA you could possibly do, a bull flag. That's an awesome line. Can I show everybody? Alright, look at this lion that my son just made in homeschool, guys. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Good job. Good job, Deebers. It's my son, Daniel Fibonacci Carl Casper. Named after Daniel from Chart Champions, Carl from the Moon, and Fibonacci himself. Alright, he's about as old as my YouTube channel. A little bit younger than that. So look, even just the basic CFTM analysis, right? Carl from the Moon type analysis with the triangles and the trend lines. That's our target for ETH. Now let's zoom into a lower time frame here. All right. Let's zoom into a lower time frame here and see what we got going on. All right. As you can see, we have our back test of 3,400. That's the value area high of the range. We are consolidating here. So there is a potential. So just like with Bitcoin, like I said, there's a potential that Bitcoin does see a bearish move and we make a lower low and Bitcoin forms the sideways range and we look for that $106-ish thousand low. Excuse me, guys. Look for that $106,000 level for a potential long. Well, the same is pretty much true for ETH here, because if you take a look at this, right now, we have a very key support resistance flip just under $4,000, which means this, if we get a move down to this area, all right, that could be a very, very important, very awesome place to look for a long on ETH. All right, also, if we take, I'm pretty sure we have some kind of fib confluence there as well. Yeah, look at that, guys, the Fibonacci golden pocket from the low to the high. So yeah, ETH does look extremely bullish. The daily market cipher B right now is looking good. We're about to confirm a nice trigger wave here. Technically speaking, it is a hidden bullish divergence from this low that we made here on the 3rd of August to this potential, well, even if we don't make a low, I mean, it's still a hidden bullish divergence, but even if we come down here, it'd be even more of a hidden bullish divergence. Beautiful support resistance flip. But right now, the daily is looking pretty nice. So I don't know if we're going to get that. But if we do get that, we'd look for something like this to happen. And that, to me, would be a beautiful opportunity on ETH to get in a good risk-to-reward ratio. You know, stop under the wick and then shoot for 5,500. 7-to-1 risk reward. You know, if we shoot for our 8,500, like big swing trade, 100% profit, you know, risk 1 to make 20. This could be really, you know, I don't think we're going to go straight there, but we're probably going to, you know, do a little, you know what ETH loves to do, right? When ETH gets going, there's no stopping ETH, all right? Look, you guys remember, like, when this kind of stuff happens, right, guys? ETH loves to get into these, remember, this is the daily time frame, okay? This is the daily time frame. So basically 49 days, 50 days, let's just consider it 50 days, almost 2 months of straight up. Now, it's not fast. It's not super fast, right? But if you're trying to short ETH here, you're getting wrecked, all right? It's not super fast, but it's 50 days of straight up, right? ETH loves to do that. It gets on these rolls. This is not uncommon for ETH. Even this, look at this. Something like this. It's just straight up. You know? ETH loves to do that kind of stuff. You know, she'll get in these, remember this? I remember this. This was such a euphoric, it seemed just insane in the spring of 2021. You guys remember this? I remember this like it was yesterday, man. It was just, it kept on going. It just kept on going. It was so crazy. We're at low. All of a sudden, we're at a $3,000 ETH. No one could believe it. Oh my goodness. On that day that we break 3,000, boom, and then we just keep climbing. I remember it like it was yesterday, honestly. So, you know, don't be surprised. do not be surprised if we see ETH make another move like that. All right? Do not be surprised. We got to give a major shout out to Juan on Super Chat. Can you have a look at Pepe? Pepe. We'll take a look at Pepe coin. All right, we'll take a look at Pepe coin. All right. You want to know whether you should buy or sell Bitcoin? I mean, it depends, bro. Like, what's your plan? What are you, a hodler? Are you a long-term position trader? Are you a scalper? Are you a swing trader? What are you doing? Can't just tell you that. I could answer the question as my long-term hodler, Jason Casper mentality. I'd say, no, of course don't sell your Bitcoin. It's going to $500,000. As a swing trader, as a position trader, I should say, I'd say, yeah, heck yeah, you should be selling your Bitcoin now. We're in the last few months of a bull run. You know, this is the time to be selling. Definitely not, don't buy here. Wait until there's fear in the streets. Wait until MicroStrategy says they're going to have to sell their Bitcoin. Otherwise, they're going to have to go under. That's when you should be buying Bitcoin. When MicroStrategy goes under, that's when you buy. As a swing trader, I would say, yeah, you know, now probably is a good time. We're at key support. There's a good risk to reward ratio. If we hit $130,000, we're bouncing from a macro 618. We're about to reclaim 115. I'd say, you know, reclaiming 115, look for a good buy entry up to 125 plus. As a day trader, I'd say, no, you know, this is the time to sell. We're at resistance. If you're in a long trade from lower, this is definitely a time to book some profits, to sell some, you know? Like, you could answer it in so many different ways, man. All right, let's take a look at Pepe. Pepe. Oui, oui. Right. We've got the head and shoulders. We've got the breakout. We've got the trend line. That's holding. All right, let's go to the weekly. Isn't that crazy? That's why it's so important to have a dang plan when you're buying or selling anything. The answer could be different depending on your like outlook and your time frame and your plan and all this stuff. Should I buy or sell? If you have to ask the question, you shouldn't be doing anything, honestly. Should not be doing anything. You should already know the answer. And if you don't know the answer, check out the free trading course. YouTube.com/Jason Casper under playlists. I have an 18-session free course. Totally free, only $3.99. In which we disclose all the secrets that the pro traders don't want you to know about, like support and resistance, buying low and selling high, risk management and money management. Okay, so let's see here. So I do have to say this, we have a very bullish divergence right here, guys. It's an extremely bullish divergence here from our low. We're making a higher low, and we have a very much so oversold momentum wave. We come to the daily. Sadly, we don't really have bull divs at that low. So it's not really confirmed by a lower time frame here. Let's go ahead and pull the volume. Look, do I think Pepe is going to pump eventually? Yeah, I do. If we have an alt season, Pepe could very easily pump again. I do hold some Pepe. I'm more bullish, though, on, like, obviously other coins. We're bouncing from the golden pocket here. Man, it really just looks pretty ambiguous, doesn't it? I have to say I lean bullish with a strong note of uncertainty. All right, I'm gonna lean bullish with a strong note of uncertainty here. Look, I could say this about it. Let's just be objective. Objectively, we're in a bull market, so we would expect coins to pump. So let's take for granted that Pepe is going to pump, all right? Let's take for granted that the coin is going to pump. If the coin pumps, then we are, objectively speaking, at a very key support resistance. We're at support. All right, we're literally at support. It was resistance, support, resistance, consolidation, resistance, resistance. We're at support, okay? So objectively speaking here, we're at a low, okay? And if we break this trend line to the upside, we're much likely going to squeeze back up to around the previous range support resistance flip. If we reclaim this, we're most probably going to hit a new all-time high. So assuming that we're at support, Pepe coin right now, with the stop loss under the low, which has a hidden weekly bullish divergence, is giving us a pretty good risk to reward ratio, a 4-to-1 on spot for a new all-time high. All right, if we put the stop under the current low, it could give us a much better risk to reward. But this is a spot play, and I would not, you know, if I was holding Pepe on spot, would I sell it because we came down below this low? No, I wouldn't. In fact, you know, what makes it difficult is you really have to come up with a plan on how you want to handle this, because really the best risk to reward is going to be something like this, right? Where we do sell if we make a lower low here, because the idea is we're holding support and we're looking for a break to the upside, right? So if you're risking 1 to potentially make 20, that's a really good thing. If we make another lower low, then, you know, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but the next support is going to be around these lows here, right? So then our next opportunity to get in would be something like this, which also is a really good, like, risk to reward. So you could look at it like, you know, on spot, all right, this looks like we're holding support here. It's not super clear, but we know we're in a bullish trend, and the risk to reward is really good. So I'm risking 1 to potentially make 20. If my idea fails, then, you know, we look down to take these lows out here, maybe even dip down below this, and then that's also like a 15-to-1 depending on where we get in, right? That's kind of how I'd look at it. And I'd say this is unlikely. It's unlikely, but it's possible, because we're dealing with the sideways range here, right? We're dealing with the sideways range. So we want to be looking for longs toward the bottom of the range, and right now we're at the midpoint, right? So the idea behind this is that we've flipped this historic level now into support, and then we're going to break that trend line, you know. Litecoin, I am pretty bullish on Litecoin. Gold is pumping, guys. Honestly, I would not be surprised if we see like a $5,000 gold soon. Look at this chart. This is insane, man. Do you know why this is happening? Do you guys know why this is happening right now? I'll tell you my theory as to why gold is pumping right now. Gold is pumping because this is crazy when you actually sit back and think about what I'm about to tell you. The whole financial system is a huge joke. The stock market is literally at all-time highs right now. Okay? Just think logically about this. The stock market is at all-time highs, and the Fed is going to be cutting rates. All right? This is crazy. Usually, you would want to see the Fed would cut rates when things are crashing, right? When things are bad, they're going to try and cut rates to stimulate the economy, like after the vid, right? In 2020, when they really started to lower interest rates, right? And basically, essentially doubled the money supply in 2 years, right? So when things are great, better than ever on paper, and the Fed is cutting rates, people understand that this is going to lead to some kind of hyperinflationary event. I mean, there's no other way around it. And I really think people are scared of being in the dollar, right? Now, inflation's all good and fine. Here's how inflation works. All right, it happens exponentially. So there's a window of time, like right now, where inflation is actually good for people like us who hold Bitcoin, because inflation is really pumping our bags, in a sense. It's pumping our bags faster than inflation, right? So when we're holding Bitcoin and stocks and the S&P 500 and things like this, and they pump faster, so we're making fiat at a rate that allows us to earn purchasing power that prevents us from feeling the effects of inflation. But the problem is inflation, it's exponential. So inflation happens like this, right? It's a slow curve, and then all of a sudden it's a straight hockey stick like that. So right now we're like around this area, all right? Because literally in the last 5 years, the purchasing power of the dollar has been cut in half. The supply, the money supply has been doubled, all right? So we're literally, we can look back 5 years and see, wow, things are twice as expensive, right? The dollar has half the purchasing power that it used to. Well, pretty soon we're going to get into the place where it doesn't matter how fast we're earning fiat, it's not going to keep up with the rate of inflation. It's going to lead to a hyperinflationary event. Hyperinflation and or the collapse of the dollar. And so people are moving that into gold, because gold is stable. All right, we look at the gold chart. We go back to, let's see here. Let's go to the year chart here. Okay, let's look at, this is when, it's so crazy. So this is when the Federal Reserve was created back in 2013, where all of a sudden now, even though it's illegal and unconstitutional, we're creating debt notes, and our currency doesn't actually have to be backed by gold, even though it still is backed by gold at this point. And then what happens is, because of all these debt notes people are using, people get into debt. Then we have the Great Depression. Okay, Great Depression, in order to fix it, what do? They devalue the dollar a little bit. So in 1930, the dollar, $1, an ounce of gold used to be $20. Now all of a sudden, after the Great Depression, an ounce of gold is $35. We're still kind of on a gold standard here until 1971, when Richard Nixon takes us completely off the gold standard. And now this gold chart, you could look at it as the price of gold is going up, but really we should look at this as the value of the dollar going down, because gold is a tangible asset that's valuable because of what it is. It doesn't lose its value. It doesn't lose its purchasing power. It's crazy to think that in 1913, a $20 bill could buy you as much goods and services as today almost $4,000 would. That's crazy. But this is how much the dollar has lost value since 1971. Isn't that crazy? And so as the dollar is exponentially losing value, and the Federal Reserve is about to pull a switch, which is going to make the problem worse. Like, that's the thing. Like, interest rate cuts are good for us short term, because, now our one Bitcoin, instead of being worth $100,000, is worth $200,000. And we're still making fiat faster than the rate of inflation. This is destroying the dollar, right? What the Fed is about to do is going to make inflation much worse. It's crazy. They said they were going to get it down to 2%. It's not 2%. They manipulate the CPI, so on paper it can look kind of good. I mean, this is crazy. This is literally the controlled demolition of Western civilization, in my opinion, through financial turmoil. But people are scared, man. People are scared that the Fed is going to start cutting rates, and so they're moving their money into something that historically has been worth the purchasing power. Right? It's all about purchasing power. It's not about money. It's not about dollars. It's about how much can that dollar buy you, right? You have $100. Go back 20 years ago, $100, that was quite a bit of money. I remember going grocery shopping with my mom for the week. When I was a kid, she'd be spending like $100 for a family of 5. And I remember thinking my mom was a baller. I saw her take out that $100 bill. I'm like, dang, Mom, you're rich. The cashier and my mom both laughed at me. I remember that. Like, dang, Mom, she's pulling out these stacks of $10 bills over here. I'm like, dang, Mom, wow, you're rolling in the dough. She's like, not after this, right? Now, man, groceries are so dang expensive. That's why y'all got to grow your own food, man. Get your homesteads ready. Get your homesteads ready. Look at gold, man. You know, I'm very thankful and I praise God that this is something I understood as a younger man. You know, I've been a big gold guy since I first got married, which was in 2014, because I understood what was happening with the dollar. So I started really getting into gold around here. And obviously I'm always accumulating gold. I think it's really important to diversify, right? Gold, I know, 200%, that's a pretty good gain. It's a pretty good gain, man, 200%. Now, here's the thing. I haven't really gained 200% on my investment. What I've done is I've actually preserved my purchasing power back here. See, back here, if I had $100 and that $100 could have, let's say, bought me, just as an example, I'll say back then $100 could have bought me a Rolex, right? Well, nowadays a Rolex costs $200, right? $300 or whatever. Well, guess what? Because I put that $100 in gold back here, I can still afford the Rolex because my purchasing power has been preserved. But if I had kept that money in fiat, now I cannot afford a Rolex. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I've actually made money. I haven't made purchasing power. I've preserved purchasing power. That's why gold and Bitcoin are so important. That's why it's important to be in tangible assets. That's why it's important not to hold your purchasing power in cash, right? That's why I'm a huge proponent of growing your own food and getting resources that are not going to fluctuate in their intrinsic value. Like a house is always going to be valuable because it's a roof over someone's head. Land is always going to be valuable because you can use it to raise animals, which produce food, and you can use it to grow food, right? Land is true wealth, in my opinion, because everybody goes to their stupid job so that they can have money for what? Food and a house, like the two basic things, right? If you have land, you now have the means to build a home and produce food, right? So, man, what a weird tangent we're on now, huh? We're on a weird tangent here. Shout out to Jose, who says the homestead is ready. People don't buy Bitcoin anymore since BlackRock controls it. Yeah, you know, that is a valid point, Felipe. I still think we have some time. I still think we have some time for the price of Bitcoin to pump. Now, even though BlackRock controls the price and can manipulate the price now, I think we still have time to benefit as the little person. But yeah, there's going to come a time where the price of Bitcoin is going to steady, in my opinion. And it's not going to be as good of an investment, but it's still, I'd say, will be a good preserver of purchasing power. But we're not going to see, I mean, Bitcoin has been the best performing asset in history. I mean, this is unheard of. You know, a 124,000% gain when measured against the dollar over the course of, 10 years. That's insane, right? Like, obviously we're not going to see that anymore. It'll probably trade similar to like the S&P 500. Slow and steady wins the race. You know, this is since 2009. Since the big economic collapse of 2009. This is what inflation does. See, that's crazy. Inflation. What a huge scam the dollar is when you realize that the elites who have cash, who have money, can just dump their money into these assets, and then they cause inflation to happen, screwing over the average hardworking person who's out there trying to work hard to make a living. They're stealing from you, and they're pumping their own bags. Isn't that crazy? They're literally stealing from you to get rich. And then they have the audacity to charge you tax money and all this other nonsense, you know, for all their big government nonsense. They probably have probably like 100 government workers who are employed making 6 figures a year just to turn on the light switch at the dang White House, probably. You know? They got the light switch manager. He's the one that gets in early. Then you have the normal employees coming in. They all have to ask the manager for permission to turn on the light. The manager has to go to some other person, fax over this paper. Is it okay to turn on the light? They fax it back. He says yes, they say it's okay. He gives it to his one person. They have to walk it down the hall to the other person who has to make a copy of it. Then they have to hand the copies out to all the other people. It's okay to turn on the light switch. Then they have to call in the light switch handler. He's the guy who's legally authorized to touch the light switch. He comes in, you know, okay, time to touch the light switch. But before he touches it, they have to get the light switch inspector to come in, make sure the light switch is okay to touch. All these guys getting paid with your tax dollars. That's why the government takes so long to do everything. You know? Sheesh, man. Did we have a news event? Let's check it. Yeah, we had non-farm employment change. Oh, President Trump is going to speak today at 4 p.m. Wow. Much lower than expected. That's good for like crypto and stuff like that. That's good for risk assets. That's a big decrease. Wow. That's a big decrease. That's quite a big decrease, huh? Wow. Would you look at that? That's good for crypto, bad for the dollar. But let's see. Well, man, we got off on a tangent here. Let's take a look at our Bitcoin chart here. All right, Bitcoin is just... Let's take a quick look here. Make sure to smash the likes, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. We have some slight bear div on the hour. We have some bear div on the 24-minute. Here's my interpretation of this bear div on the 24-minute. Because money flow is much thicker here, I expect consolidation and then pump. I expect consolidation and then pump. I'm calling for consolidation and then pump. All right, worst case scenario, we get a drop down to the golden pocket, take out yesterday's low, and then boom. All right, this is like the worst case scenario. We take the liquidity, come down to the Fibonacci golden pocket, and then bounce. And if we do that, I'm probably going to add to my long trade, honestly. Yeah, how could I say no, guys? Honestly, how could I say no? Look at that. Look at that. Would you look at that? Beautiful. 1095. That would be beautiful. Why is your value area low different than mine? I chart on Bybit inverse perpetual USD. I don't use USDT. All right. Do I think Bitcoin will find a direction today? I do think we will find a direction today. I think either we consolidate lightly and then pump like crazy, or we have a big old drop down to like 109 and then we pump like crazy. So either way, I do expect a big direction today. I expect either big up or big down. Big up or big down. Shout out to R Pink. KCEX. Come on, let's keep it respectful in here. We don't have to call people idiots. There's only one idiot in here, and that's me. They will fudge the numbers to make them look good. Bear div on the 24. Yeah. Rate cuts hit 99% chance for September. Let's check that out, actually. Yeah, this is why gold is pumping, honestly, because people who are smart realize that. Actually, for me, wow. Whoa. Wait a second. Wait a second, is this real? Wait a second, guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, this is real. Wow, okay, so 88% are expecting a 25 beats per second cut, and 12% are expecting a 50 beats per second cut. All right? So, yeah. I thought that 12% were expecting a 25% cut and 88% were expecting no cut. But wow, so pretty much everybody's expecting a cut here, a rate cut. But now they're asking, is it going to be 50 basis points or 25 beats per second? So this is crazy, man. Honestly, this is pretty crazy. What's happening? Now remember, guys, we are doing a few giveaways today. Giveaway number 1 is KCEX is giving away $1,000. So if you want a chance to win $1,000, there is a pinned comment in the chat here. All you have to do is sign up to KCEX using my link, and you get a chance to win $100. 10 people are going to win $100. Also, guys, make sure to head over to the free Discord, or if you want to get 5 times the rewards, you know, you could join VIP. But over in the free Discord, link in the description of this video, there's a chance to win some eggs. All right, 158 people have completed this quest. The correct code here, guys, is chicken feet. Chicken feet. Use the code chicken feet to claim 1 egg, or VIP members 5 eggs. And here's the thing. You're going to be storing up these eggs, and you can use them to enter giveaways and win prizes and raffles and all this stuff. We're talking cash giveaways, all right? So stack up your eggs, join the Discord, the free Discord, or the VIP, all right? Bitcoin consolidating and then going to get another move here. Andre Van Wyck is calling for 50 points. Interesting. People are quitting alcohol, switching to pot. Is that true? Why are we talking about that? Because of the points. Huge possibility of cuts for sure, Splash. Cardano. Yeah, Cardano. Let's take a quick look at Cardano. Shout out to Felix. He says Cardano. You know. Man, look at this chart. Beautiful, huh? Whole bunch of scribbles, huh? Let's clean up everything here. So, what do I think about Cardano? Man, I think it's super dang bullish. All right? I think it's super bullish. I think from the most basic analysis here, we've got ourselves cup and handle. Right? I mean, we could even pull this thing from here. Right? We have ourselves bullish divergence on the weekly chart. Money flow and momentum getting higher. Very, very good looking divergence. Then we have ourselves a support resistance flip. Right? So we had this basically being our support resistance level, right? We break up above it, we back test it, now we're above it again. All right, now we're coming down to none other than the Fibonacci Golden Page 786 zone, where we are currently also holding support. So in my opinion, we are primed for a big breakout on Cardano. We're going to take the measured move of the cup and handle. We're looking at a move up to $2.50. All right, now personally, I think we're gonna see much higher than that. I'm looking at a $5 target for a conservative target on Cardano. That's a conservative target. It's $5. All right. But once we break out of this, it's going to be very, very easy to squeeze all of this, guys. Like this is just so squeezable, because whenever you have like a descending channel that doesn't have clear market structure, doesn't have clear swing highs and swing lows, right? Once you come above that level, it's going to be so easy just to squeeze, just to pop right through and hit a new all-time high very easily. Now, I know we're printing a red dot on the weekly, but the money flow is crossing from the purple into the blue. And we're looking at this in the context here of the last few months of a cryptocurrency bull run. All right, cryptocurrency bull run. Look at the monthly. We have just confirmed a green dot on the monthly here. Look at the 2-week. The 2-week money flow is crossing from the purple into the blue literally right now. So I truly believe that after we're done consolidating in here, we're going to get a big pump. Opportunities for Cardano obviously are going to have to be a move back down to the lows of the range in an extreme event, a wick down to around 48 cents. That would be extremely bullish. It wouldn't be anything scary. We're literally just coming back down to the bottom of our handle, bouncing from our 786. That would actually be a really great entry opportunity. 48 cents. That would be absolutely beautiful. And then we shoot up for our $5 target. And that's a conservative target, but that's a 60-to-1 risk reward ratio. That would be the best setup that we have. Other setups would have to be a breakout and a back test of this trend line. So the way that would look is this. We get the breakout, then we pull the fib from the low to the new high, and that would give us a nice confluence. This is a hypothetical Fibonacci at around 80 cents, right? So around 80 cents. Hypothetical Fibonacci retracement. If we break out and then back test that, that would also now give us about a, we'll put the stop under the 786 to be safe. That's still like a 30-to-1 risk reward ratio right there upon the breakout and retest. So the two entries I'd be interested in would be a breakout, back test of around 80 cents, or a drop down to around 48 cents and get in from here. Either way, we're trading this cup and handle idea either along from the bottom of the handle or along from the breakout and the top of the handle. It'd be pretty cool. It would be pretty cool. You got out of your short early on Bitcoin? Ooh, Bitcoin's dumping. Wow. Oh my goodness, we are taking a massive dump here. All right, let's check it out. We're bouncing from POC. This could be the hold point, guys. Let's check out the VWAP of the day. Ooh, wow. Let's pull a local fib here. Wow. Okay, this could be a nice bounce place here. We have really nice bull divs on our 12-minute. 6-minute potential bull divs. 3-minute, Money flow looks good on the 3-minute though. This is a potential bounce point right here, guys. If not from here, then we're coming down to take all of this. And that's where I think we get a really nice bounce. But this is also a really crucial support zone here. We've got our support resistance flip. You know? Let's check it out. Let's see if we bounce. We've got 300 grand on the line here, guys. We lose this and we come down to 100. We're coming down to the next golden pocket here. Hang on, let me get off our 5-minute time frame here. Where was yesterday? What happened yesterday? That was yesterday. Yeah. We lose that and we're coming down to our next target. So let's remove this. We'll put our 2 boxes of bounce. All right, box number 1 of bounce is here to hold this. Box number 2 is right here. I am curious actually to see if we take this low here. Yeah, that's our 786. All right, so we front ran that 786 by a little bit, but this actually looks kind of good. I feel like we could actually hold this. Let's check out what the order flow is doing here. Wow, we had quite a bit of shorts opening into that area there. All right, this is very key. If we don't hold this, guys, we're probably going to come down towards 109-ish. All right. Let's put back on our chart here. So this is the 5-second time frame right here. Again, if we start to reclaim this golden pocket, that is going to be bullish. We would expect more upside. One last thing I'd be looking for here is actually just a dip, a little bit dip down below this, and then a quick reclaim of our 786. We've got bullish div potentially here on our 6-minute. Money flow looks decent on our 3-minute, but the divergences are just not there. So it would actually be a little bit better to range a little bit here and then do that. like an idea, a preferred scenario right now for me would be to hold here for a little bit. Just give our 3 minute enough time to do something like this. That would be preferred. However, okay, so here's the real make it or break it moment. All right, here's the real make it or break it moment here. Looks like we can get a little bit of a bounce if we reclaim this 786. Let's see if we can reclaim that 786. See if we can reclaim the 786. Look at that. All right, so the way I would be looking at this now is the following. If we can now come above the golden pocket, you know, not financial advice, but we have ourselves a good, in my opinion, risk to reward setup here. We're risking 0.5%, and we're looking to take it back up towards a new high here, which is potentially like $114,000, $115,000. You know, it's a pretty good risk to reward ratio. That's what I would be looking at on the reclaim of the Fibonacci golden pocket zone here, because remember, this is a very key area of support. It's the point of control. So holding above this area means not only are we bouncing from our 786, but we're reclaiming the POC. We're bouncing from the POC. Right, so we've got multiple confluences, and by the time we're up here, I'd say the 12-minute bullish divergence is more likely to play out. So this is the time where you got to be patient. You have your plan. Your plan is basically we're reclaiming the golden pocket, our stop loss below the low. We shoot for a new high. If we don't see that happen, we don't take a trade. I would wait until we come back down towards the value area low of the range confluence with the Fibonacci golden pocket. So let's see what happens here. Looks like we are not getting that reclaim just yet here, guys. Oh my goodness. We're taking a massive dump. Oh my goodness, we are taking a dump. Well, for the sake of YouTube sensationalism, it's a good thing I still have a short open. Alright, YouTube sensationalism at its finest, guys. Let's see what happens. Looks like we're, so far, there's no trade to be taken here. We're going to remove all our drawings here. Over on WEEX, just so everyone knows, this is not a new trade. I've been holding this trade literally since August 24th, okay? So when I told everybody I was taking a almost like a hedged short trade, okay? I've been holding this as a hedge because my entry is essentially at the support resistance flip, so until we reclaim 115, I am holding this trade here. Let's go ahead and pull our fib, because our next target is probably going to be around our Fibonacci golden pocket, 109. But let's go ahead also and pull some other fib levels here. I do want to pull a fib from this low down here to the high. We are currently coming towards a local golden pocket here. So 110.817. This is the local Fibonacci. Let's see if we don't get a bounce from here. You know, again, this is a key fib level. Let's see what happens here. Looks like we are getting a little bit of a bounce from this. Let's check out the order flow. See what's happened there. We're going to go down to our 1 minute time frame. Big decrease of OI. It's been a long squeeze, guys. A big long squeeze. All right, let's see what happens here. Again, you got to be real careful if you're long. If you're looking for longs at these levels, you got to wait for some kind of, in my opinion, change of market structure. So a reclaim of 111584, I'd consider that a place then to be actually interested in long this level. We do have some longs coming in here, so we've got about 46 million longs longing this golden pocket. 46 million longs long the golden pocket. Again, no real sign of strength here until we can come above this last previous high. No reason to catch a falling knife like that. All right, so let's see what happens. Of course, if we lose this, We expect to move back down to 109.5. All right. They're trying to hold some bulls. Some bulls have stepped in. Some money has stepped in here after a long squeeze. We're seeing some longs stepping in at the Fibonacci golden pocket. Let's check out the market cipher once again here. So we do have room here for 12-minute divergence if we can hold this golden pocket here. Again, be very careful. I would not be longing this golden pocket until we can reclaim our point of control. All right, if we do reclaim the point of control here, then I'd say this is a valid setup. It's actually still a good risk to reward ratio, right? But again, we want to be patient here. We don't want to catch a falling knife. We need to wait for some kind of bounce. But the reason why we're looking for a long is because the divergence is here. All right, but we're not doing it unless we actually have a reason to do it. Right now, for me, there is no reason to do it. All right, there is no reason to do it yet here. All right, getting alerts. We're crossing 110.789. I guess I had an alert there for some reason. Let me check something out real quick here. Oh, we're at daily open. Okay, we're at daily open. Also, guys, daily open, a place where we could get a bounce. All right, let's see. Again. We got to be real careful here because, you know, we don't just want to catch a falling knife like this. We need to wait for something to happen. So until we get some kind of structure change here, you got to be real careful because we're losing the POC. We're losing the POC of the range, all right? Which means any long we take in the middle of the range, we need to have some kind of evidence, some kind of invalidation, right? So as long as we're below this POC, we should not be looking, we should be still open to coming down to the 109.5 zone, but we are at daily open, all right? We actually are at daily open, confluence with the Fibonacci golden pocket. All right? So this could be a place where we do get a bounce from the daily open. But again, I would want to wait until we're coming back above our POC, right? This area here. You know, as soon as we come above this, whatever little dip we get, then we can look for something like this. You know, again, as we're watching this happen, we're adjusting our plan. We're adjusting the position size we'd use, right? If you have $1,000 in your account and this is the potential trade you're taking here, right? You're going to be putting, you know, $1,200 on the trade because it's less than the 1% stop. But if you need a bigger stop loss, you have $1,000 in your account, now you're putting less on the trade. You're adjusting your plan as you go, right? It's all the stuff we teach in the Casper Crew VIP Discord and in the free course at on YouTube. All right, but this is a nice level. I do have to say, I don't like the 1 minute money flow here. I don't like the 6 minute here. I actually feel like a better opportunity right now would be to wait for lower. Potentially around, we'll have to see. I mean, honestly, like obviously we could bounce from the daily open, which is here. We could obviously bounce from the 786, which is here. Our main target should be down toward that value area low, right? That should be our main target. Man, we are dumping, baby. Oh my goodness. Well, for the sensationalism, let's put on our $200,000 short trade here. We could even look at our $300,000 long trade. Man, this is crazy. Man, look at that. I'm down 8 grand. I'm literally down 8 grand. Isn't that crazy? I'm down 8 grand from the beginning of the stream. But it's all good because this is all part of the plan, guys, all right? Let's see what happens. Are we going to hold daily open? We're going to hold daily open. At least we booked some profit on that trade, honestly. Booked a nice little $5,000 profit on the trade. Let's get back to our market cipher here. We're dumping and it's going to be huge.
Holy crap, folks, we're dumping and it's going to be huge. We got a massive red candle on the chart. Kamala Harris and her cronies are at it again. This is what communism will do, folks. We need to get together and make Jason Casper great again. Let me see a blue candle, baby.
Come on, Donald Trump. Yeah, looking like we're going to come back down and give that all back here. All right, we're trying to hold daily open. Let's go ahead and put daily open on the chart here. Man. We'll remove our golden pocket here. We'll just keep our daily open. Actually, no, let's keep the 786 on the chart. But really, my main target is going to have to be down lower here if we can't hold our daily open. Yeah, shout out to Baby. It's okay to be down 8K. We already have a screenshot. Hoping just FUD due to rate cut rumors. What rate cut rumors are we talking about? Are we talking about... What rate cut rumors are we talking about here? Man, this 12-minute, honestly, it looks like we have more downside. The wave doesn't look like it's going to clip. We need a reclaim of 111.2 before there's any real sign of strength here. Man. Well, we knew we were going to get a big move today. We knew it was either going to be up or down. Looks like it's down. And it looks like we're going to hit our target, the value area low of the range, where either we get a really big bounce or we actually look to take the lows once again for another long opportunity here. So let's wait and see. All right. We are long from the low and short from the top, so we just wait for the next nice setup to happen here. All right, while we're waiting, let's do a giveaway courtesy of KCEX. All right, guys, you've had plenty of time to sign up to KCEX using my link. All right, it's in the pinned chat here. All right, so let's go ahead and pop that on our chart. All right. All right, so over here, we have ourselves the link to sign up for KCEX. If you sign up for KCEX, all you need to do is post your user ID. You got to post your user ID in the chat, okay? And then what we'll do is we will count down from 10. And the first 10 people who post their user ID in the chat will win $100 right into their account. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. Here we go. 10, 9, 8. Well, let's give it a little bit more time. All right, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Let's see. All right, so Brody is our first one. All right, Brody. Let's see, where's Brody? Gotta find him, Hang on, where's Brody? Here he is. Alright, so from Brody, we got 1. Boo Time is 2. Bu is 3. Lenovsky is 4. Mata Liao is 5. Ozzy is 6. Biscus is 7. Wazoo 52 is 8. Alright, I'll post those. I'll keep those. Alright. And then King CDW, Level King CDW is 9. And my Matty is 10. Alright, so we have our 10 winners right here. Let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. Alright. We've got our winners. Congratulations, guys. You are going to receive your prizes. Courtesy of KCEX. All right. I'm going to pop these over to KCEX right now. All right, Bitcoin's dumping, guys. We've just given away $1,000. We're not going to hold daily open. We're looking down to our next target at about 109.5. And let's see. I hope that we hold here, because honestly, I'm looking for higher and I'm bullish, but I've already given all my plans pretty much, guys. So no matter what happens, you already know what I'm planning to do. Still in the short trade from August 24th, which I've been holding as a hedge so long as we're below our value area low. So let's see what happens. Looks like I shorted the top here, but guys, this is just the trade that I let everybody know I was taking in the Casper crew back on August 24th, all right? So let's see. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, Geo's been super bearish, honestly. From what level are the Mossad handlers telling me we're going to bounce? 109.5. 109.5. Yeah, 109.5 is a nice confluence value area low plus the Fibonacci golden pocket. So, and if not, then we'll take the low. And honestly, I look for another long. That would be super bullish if we take the low. That would be crazy if we take the low, man. So let's draw our next box. So I was wrong. I thought we were going to consolidate and pump based on our 24-minute money flow here. But it looks like we are giving back all this liquidity. And so these are my next two areas to look for a long trade, a juicy one. Hopefully, I'm looking to build up to a $1 million position at some point here, just like we did back in, in August. We were trading with millions of dollars back in August. So let's see. I was hoping that this position would be the one I could scale into, but obviously it looks like, you know, depending on how far we drop, I might have to close this one out in a small profit and open up a new one. Shout out to Daniel coming in with the good old hopium. He says, guys, we're gonna pump. Chill. Just chill. I know, Geo short? Never. 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 Never short. Geo would never do that. Alright, let's see here. What I'm checking right now is how many steps I've walked during this live stream. About 16,000 steps. It's not bad. 16,000 steps during a live stream, man. You know, highly recommended. Man, 4-hour bear div. This could get ugly, man. This could give us a new low here. Let's just discuss this real quick. Shout out to Tom Crown, man. God bless you, bro. Tom Crown, 185,000 subscribers. All right, so we officially have no bull divs yet, so I wouldn't be looking for a long here yet, guys. But, guys, make sure to go subscribe to Tom Crown. All right, the best crypto YouTube analyst in the world. Yeah, so what were we going to say? The 4-hour. Man, bear div printing, but honestly, this could turn into the most bullish thing ever. Take all the liquidity, slipperier. We'll just slip through all that liquidity. And there's some kind of Diddy joke in there somewhere. But then we'd have a really nice bull div here with the money flow crossing. I would love that. All right, I would love it. I would love it. Where's my weighted vest? Guys, I've been going too hard this week, all right? I had 2 extremely heavy leg days today. I did heavy barbell back squats, and I did heavy deadlifts conventional. So those are very taxing on the central nervous system. I'm talking like reps of, 6 and fewer. So high intensity, high weight. So I'm just kind of fried, man. I listen to my body, right? I know I'm always a very extreme person, but I also listen to my body. So I know that if I were to walk with a weighted vest today, it wouldn't be beneficial to me. It would actually hurt me. It would hurt my recovery. So you got to listen to what the body says. All right. So this is more of like an active recovery day here, where I'm just kind of walking body weight walk, But yeah, it's been the past few weeks of intense weightlifting for sure. Liquidity is my new favorite word. Arm day every day. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I did hit arms 3 times this week, so I'm not gonna lie, I hit arms 4 times this week. I've been actually really adding a lot of arm volume in. So I have been adding a lot of arm volume in. I've been doing legs twice a week. I've been doing upper body 3 times a week. And I'm just trying it out. I'm trying upper, lower, upper, rest. And then like it's been a weird split. I've been doing upper, lower, upper, then a rest day, and then 2 full body workouts. Which I know sounds crazy, but the full body workouts are not all working the same muscle, right? So I know it sounds weird. I'm just trying some stuff out over here, But I ended up doing arms 4 days this week. Really trying to get those biceps, baby, Trying to build that meat. How many miles do I walk a day? I have no idea, to be honest with you. I really have no idea. I can know how many steps on average I walk a day. Two-a-days are the real deal. I can't do the two-a-days, Roth Poker. I've actually tried doing the two-a-days. Where like I work out best in the morning on an empty stomach. I don't know how people. You know what's interesting? I have tried many different times of day to work out and lift weights. What's interesting is in the morning on an empty stomach, having fasted for about 13 hours when I usually work out, lift weights, I mentally and physically, I feel weaker. I feel like I have less energy, but I'm stronger. And I actually have more endurance in that state, because there have been times where like I get some calories into me, some carbs, some proteins, and I try to work out like in the afternoon. And when I go in there, I'm feeling hyped. I'm feeling hyped up. I'm feeling ready to go. But then I notice like, hey, I don't have as much to push. I don't know what it is with that, right? So I can't do the two-a-days, because if I work out in the morning and then I work out again later in the afternoon after some calories, it's like double the weakness, because the food makes me weak, and then having worked out earlier that day also makes me weak. But I also train very hard. So like pretty much every set I do is, if I can go to failure, I do. Or at least to the point where if I try again, I'm going to hurt myself, That's why I love the Smith machine and like Smith machine Bulgarian split squats. I've been really digging those lately. Man, Honey is a pre-workout cheat code. Yeah, I've been I've been messing with the intra-workout honey in the past as well, like guzzling down some honey, like Eric Bugenhagen style. You know, if I have a very long, grueling, full-body workout, I will actually take a giant spoon of raw honey. If I like just did, let's say like I'm doing like a squat, a dip, and a chin-up as my three, you know, my lower push-pull, right? And then after I do those three, if I still have some other like isolation work to do, I might just take a scoop of honey so I can have that extra oomph to really eke out, you know, the bicep curls, right? You don't want to skip on the curls. You know, let's be honest, the only muscle that really matters is the biceps. That's the only muscle that matters. You know what I'm saying? The best type of honey is Yemen honey. What kind of honey do they have in Canada? I think they have Tim Horton honey. Try meth. I heard meth is pretty good for a pre-workout. You know what's actually really good for a pre-workout is nicotine. And the only reason I know this is because I do enjoy the occasional cigar. And I remember this one time I was on vacation and I smoked a cigar. And honestly, the nicotine hit me pretty hard, man. Not gonna lie, right? So I decided to, well, what else are you gonna do when the nicotine hits you hard? I decided to do some push-ups. Now, usually, if I were to just drop and do a set of push-ups, I'd get about 50 push-ups in one set. I was able to get over 70 push-ups in one set after the cigar, right? Now, I do not consume nicotine on a regular basis. I definitely don't. And I don't recommend smoking cigars, right? Because they say they're bad for you. That's what they say, but I don't know. They say a lot of stuff, all right? And then it's become a tradition of mine, if I am going to have a cigar, which is very rare. I have not had a cigar since February. And I actually took a picture of it, posted it on Twitter. It was an Ashton Virgin Sun Grown, one of my favorite cigars. But I do have a tradition of doing as many push-ups as possible after that cigar. Will M recommends cigars. Preparing for war says you got to eat your cruciferous vegetables. You use Zyn pouches? Oh my goodness. C4? Man, I have some crazy stories about C4 preparing for war. Man, so when I was maybe in my early 20s, I was addicted to C4. I remember the first time I took it, I went to the gym with my friend Mike. And we're bench pressing, and I remember telling him, bro, this is awesome, man. I literally felt high. I felt high on C4. All right, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is the best workout I've ever had, you know? The chest pump was crazy, you know? Well, long story short, I didn't realize this, but I was drinking the blue raspberry flavor, and it turns out, guys, I'm allergic to Blue Lake. All right, it's a blue food dye in there called Blue Lake, and I was getting these welts on my face, like these massive welts. They itched and they were painful, and I thought they were spider bites, man. I was getting them like all over my body, and I'm waking up, I'm like, do I have bed bugs? What the heck is going on? Right? I was scared. I actually like I went to the doctor. They said, I'm like, is it a spider bite? They thought it was a spider bite. They gave me a shot of antibiotic right in the butt. It was a crazy shot of antibiotic. I remember, man, that thing hurt. The shot in the butt, all right? This is actually the only reason why I don't take steroids. You know, the shot in the butt, I just can't deal with it. But man, I remember it was snowing out. It was snowing out, happened in the winter. After I got out of there, I pulled my pants down and sat down in the snow. That pain of the steamy butt melted the snow. And then I almost passed out. I legit almost passed out from the shot in the butt. And, yeah, it was crazy, man. Well, anyway, I stopped taking C4 without thinking about it. And then years later, me and my wife were on an epic road trip, and we stopped at the Golden Corral for dinner. And they had cotton candy there. And I had all this blue cotton candy. I just couldn't stop eating all this blue cotton candy. And the next morning, woke up with the welts, and I realized it's the blue food dye. I didn't need that giant shot of antibiotics in the butt. You know? Sheesh, all that for nothing. Don't you hate it when you get a giant shot of antibiotics in the butt for no reason? Ozzy wants to know why I don't see his messages. You sent the wrong user ID. Oh, okay. I'll send that over to BLOFIN. All right. I got you, Ozzy. All right, we're getting a dump, guys. We're coming back down to our box of support. We've got our shots in the butt. Did the shot give me a buzz? I don't know, man. Who the heck knows what's in that? Have I been to a functional nutritionist? Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's night and day between my early 20s and my 30s, guys. I mean, I would never get an injection of antibiotics in my butt now, unless, like, it was life or death situation. I try to avoid antibiotics as much as possible, right? But yeah, of course, I go to a functional nutritionist, functional medicine guy. Only food is the real supplement? Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm all about food. I don't eat cotton candy anymore. Let's just put it that way. All right. But look, in my early 20s, guys, you have to understand. You know, I was a much different person than I am now. The Lord has done so many amazing things in my life, completely changed my life. So, yeah, I don't eat cotton candy. I don't go to the Golden Corral. I don't take pre-workout supplements besides organic coffee. You know, a lot of stuff I don't do that I used to do. Brad would do... Is that a peptide, Brad? Yeah, I've been looking into these peptides that people are taking for injuries and stuff. It seems quite interesting, honestly. It seems quite interesting. All right, so we are at our first support, 110.394. This is a potential bounce area. Let's take a look at the market cipher here. Looks like we're coming lower, I have to be honest. Actually, the 1 minute is finally giving us some nice divergences. It would be really nice to consolidate here and get one more drop. It'd be really nice to consolidate here and get one more drop down to value area low. But, you know, of course, we reclaim daily open here. We get a little change of market structure. Flip that POC. And that could be the move back for the day. Let's take a look at the order flow and like see, did we get shorts popping in here? That's been pretty much a squeeze the whole way down, really. Pretty much a squeeze the whole way down. Human peptides. Yeah, I've seen a lot of great things. Myself here, mostly just hearsay. I'm always very, very cautious of taking anything. You know? I really am. I'm very cautious of taking anything. Because it takes a long time to figure out the side effects of things. And also, everything's a give and take, you know? Everything's a give and take in your body. So you increase one thing, and it's pulling from other resources. So you got to be real careful with that stuff, in my opinion. But I'm definitely, if there's a dire situation like an injury and a short-term thing, I'm all for it. I think that's cool. You don't know why I keep saying we're going lower, because it looks like we're going to pump. We could pump from here, Ashley Gates. Yeah, we could pump from here. Like, obviously, we have the liquidity grab of this area, for sure, right? That's why we have a level marked out in the chart, and it looks like we are getting a bit of a swing failure pattern. But the reason why the 1 minute actually does look good here, but so here's my mentality right now. Could we bounce from here? Yes. I would need to see the reclaim now of the POC before I would get bullish, right? So let's actually extend this to the right. Yeah, I'd really need to see us reclaim this, like some kind of like local market structure. If not, the 12 minute looks pretty garbage to me. I'd rather come down lower so we could print a nice divergence, right? But yeah, for sure, we could absolutely get a bounce from this area. After all, we could say, you know, it's the golden pocket, it's the 786, it's the daily open. But I need something a little bit more convincing here. I would need something like this. And if not, then I would prefer lower, right? So I just don't have a... I guess I just don't have a setup here. The only potential setup you could say is this. You know, we've taken those lows from yesterday. And so if you did long that, like as a scalp trade, then I guess that's fine, because you have a pretty clear invalidation. You know, so yeah, that is a good risk to reward. So yeah, I mean, I'd say there's nothing wrong with that based on the 1 minute divergence. I would just rather wait until maybe we come a little bit lower with like some 6 minute divergence. You know, maybe we do get a little bit of a move up and then get something like that so we can get our 6 minute divergence, you know. That's all. I'm not saying we can't pump from here. Just for me, I've decided I don't want to exactly take a trade from right here, right now. But so far, the 5 minute candle is looking blue. Alright, let's see what happens. This could very well be the low. All this talk about gym and food, you sound like girls. Or chicks, like baby chicken chicks. I have a baby chick on my farm. I don't know, do girls talk about the gym a lot? I don't know. The only people I know who talk about the gym a lot, honestly, are dudes. They're dudes. Us dudes who love the gym, you know? I'm not gonna lie, I love the gym, man. Can't help it. I do love the gym. I love the gym. You know, I'm not gonna lie. What could I say? I cannot even imagine a life where I don't go to the gym, honestly. I would be so depressed. I don't get how people don't go to the gym. I don't get it. How do you guys not go to the gym? If anyone doesn't go to the gym, how do you not go? How do you not end up depressed? Like, if I'm not regularly lifting heavy things, even if I take like 2 days off the gym, I start to feel just like lack of motivation, you know? It's the gym. It's always there for you, you know? Bitcoin might dump on you. The gym's never gonna dump on you. You know, Bitcoin is fickle. The gym's always gonna be there for you. You know what I'm saying? What do I think would be the bottom for ETH? $4,000 could be the bottom for ETH. Let's check out ETH. Is it harder for women to get into shape? I feel like it's pretty hard for guys and girls to get into shape. Let's be honest. I've seen all the memes of like for both sides of the story, right? Like for women, all they have to do is like not eat like a cow, but guys have to eat like an extremely low-fat diet, lift heavy weights 3 to 5 times a week, all this, right? I think it's honestly about the same. Let's be honest. Most guys that try to get in shape don't really look that good in shape, and same with girls. I think it's all perspective, honestly, because what girls find attractive in a man, probably a man would consider himself below par, right? Just like us guys, you know, when we see an attractive girl, that same girl might think that her body is subpar, right? Even though we look at her and we're like, dang, girl, you looking fine, right? She's like, oh, you know, but I'm not, right? But, I'm pretty sure it's the same for everybody. Just eat healthy and stay active, and you're gonna look good, right? You're gonna look pretty good, pretty normal, right? Pretty in shape. Pretty good in shape. All right, let's check out ETH. This is ETH. Yeah, so just like we said before, I think the you eat a high-fat diet. Yeah, I know that's just the memes I've seen where guys have to eat a low-fat diet. You know, I'll be honest. I ate a very high-calorie diet, extremely high-calorie diet. I probably eat double the food that an average in-shape guy would eat per day. I eat about 5,000 calories a day on average. Sometimes it dips down to like 4,700. Sometimes it's up above 5,500 if we're going to average out the week. But I don't have any restrictions on how much food I eat. I just eat until I'm satisfied. But my rule is it has to be a single ingredient food. Like I'm eating like probably like 95% of my diet is just single ingredient whole foods. So like butternut squash, potatoes, sweet potatoes, you know, popcorn, sprouted oats. Rarely do I eat sprouted oats. You know, buckwheat groats, fruits, vegetables, meat, dairy, eggs. If I'm feeling naughty, I'll have some Ezekiel 7-grain sprouted bread. Or if I'm feeling really naughty, I'll have some Magic Spoon fruity Pebbles flavored cereal in my Greek yogurt. That's about as naughty as I get. Let's see here. Yeah, I'd say for ETH, how low can we go? I mean, this is our sideways range, so this would be our target box for a juicy long setup potentially here. It's amazing how the daily was printing a green dot, now it's not, so we still have the potential for a hidden bull div into this box. All right, let's check out our 4-hour here. 4-hour candle looks crazy. Yeah, so honestly, guys, we're either at the low right now, because this is basically we had a divergence here, and so this would be a higher low, or we go for the lows again, and then I say we come into our box. And honestly, if Bitcoin's going to make a lower low and ETH is going to make a lower low, things are going to be looking extremely bullish, to be honest. High protein, high healthy fat, low sugar is the way to go. You know, I actually eat a very high sugar diet. I eat close to 300 grams of sugar a day. And I eat a moderately low-fat diet. I feel better when I keep my fat 25%, about 20 to 25% of my caloric intake. And, yeah, I'm just curious, actually, to see over the last 7 days. My fat is about 22%, 51% carbs, and 27% protein. That's a lot of protein. I'm very neurotic. I track everything. I track all my foods and my calories, you know. I track all my stuff. It's kind of like trading, right? It's very similar to trading. You look at the graphs, you look at the charts, you chart everything. I like to chart stuff, you know? Chart my Bitcoin, chart my weight, chart my calories, all this kind of stuff. I'm a weirdo. Yeah, my my sugar sources are pretty much just sugar sources comes from pretty much fruit and honey only, and dairy, fruit, dairy. I do not eat any kind of processed sugar or any kind of food that has sugar added. Yeah, I'd say if 105 doesn't hold Ben, we're going back to at least 86,000. Candida albiquinus, is that like Candida overgrowth? I don't think that. So I have some bro sciencey view on that. Like, I'm a firm believer that if you fuel your body properly for the things your body needs to do, you're not going to have an issue with that, right? So I eat lots of vegetables, cooked and raw. I eat lots of fibrous things and proteins, fats, healthy fats. Very little polyunsaturated fat. I eat a lot of monounsaturated fat, moderate saturated fat, right? And I'm a very active guy, so I can tell when my body is taking sugar and actually using it for energy, as opposed to like, I don't know how else to explain it, but you guys who are into fitness probably know that there are times where you're eating a lot of food, but you know your body's not really utilizing that food. Like, maybe it makes you bloated, right? After you eat, you're bloated, you just can tell your digestion's not right, like something's off, right? But other times you're eating a lot of food and it's not like a struggle to eat that much food. You're eating it because you know your body's using it, right? So the way I look at it is, if I'm hungry for fruit and it tastes good and it feels good, then my body actually is utilizing it and using it, as opposed to like, if I'm eating fruit simply because it tastes good, but I'm not really like hungry for it, and then afterwards I feel like sluggish or bloated, then there's an issue. But it's about like finding that balance, which can fluctuate like throughout the period of the year or the season and all that stuff, right? Do I ever drink alcohol? Did I ever drink? Oh yeah, I used to drink lots of alcohol. I used to drink every single day back in my 20s, my early 20s. Do I drink alcohol now? Nah, the last time I drank alcohol was in February, and I had one sip of a Blue Moon. And then I discovered alcohol-free Blue Moon, which I then got and drank, because I do thoroughly enjoy the taste of beer. But I really hate the effects of alcohol, man. I hate the effects of alcohol. I don't know if I'm getting old or if it's just I'm more in tune with my body, or maybe a little bit of both, but I definitely operate physically and mentally on a much higher level in my 30s than I did in my 20s. Like, there's more demand on me, so maybe I just feel the effects more. But even if I were to go out with my wife for like a nice steak dinner, right, super fancy, and have like a glass of Cabernet, a nice dry Cabernet, or maybe a Merlot, I would feel that the next day. Like, I would just feel a little bit off, you know? So I really hate the effect of alcohol. But I'm not against it. But yeah, the last alcohol I had was a sip of Blue Moon back in February. Or I'll have a, sometimes I will have literally a taste, like a drop of a really good scotch. Just like literally a drop. Just because I love the flavor of scotch. Especially if I'm eating like a piece of fatty meat. Man, I love that combination. But I just enjoy the flavor of it, so I'll take like a drop of it with the meat. But other than that, I do not drink alcohol. Do I ever take psychedelics? So I used to, but I'm a follower of Jesus. So I became a follower of Jesus in 2012 when I was 22, and that radically changed the course of my life. The Lord has taken me and completely transformed my life, like radically transformed it. You know, when I think about all that the Lord has done in my life, it's mind-boggling. It's baffling. It's insane to think what He's done, how He's completely transformed my life. So I don't do those things anymore. It's my belief that psychedelics open you up to the very real spiritual realm in a way that's unauthorized right now. What I mean by that is this: you know, man being fallen, separated from God because of our sin. God told us, don't mess with the spiritual world in your current state because it's dangerous for you, because you're going to get deceived by demonic forces and it's going to lead to your destruction eventually. So, yeah, I think those things open you up to demonic influences. And so I avoid them. But I've definitely had my fair share. And, is this a confirmed bounce yet? I'd say we need to reclaim the POC. Which it looks like we have, right? Let's see. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, we've reclaimed the POC. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Shout out to Real John Doe. He says Jesus is king. Can we talk about Bitcoin? Yeah, we could. I mean, we've talked about it a lot. Do I fast? Oh yeah, absolutely. I do eat a lot, but I also do fast a lot, and I think it's very, very important. It's a very important spiritual discipline and a very important physical discipline. But yeah, I do fast quite often. Typically, I'll do a 24-hour fast, but sometimes a 48 or a 72. And typically when I'm fasting, it is for spiritual purposes, right? So I fast and I pray. I set that day apart to seek the Lord, pray, to spend time in His presence. Yeah, wisely. Primarily, I do religious fasts. I mean, so technically, I fast every day. Like, it's almost noon, and I haven't eaten since yesterday at 4 p.m. So, technically, I'm fasted, right? But it's not, you know, if I'm fasting, like if I say I'm actually fasting, it's always for spiritual purposes, pretty much, right? But there are physical benefits as well. Do I do a carnivore diet? No, I'm really against dietary extremes. So veganism, carnivore, you know. I just they're extreme. They're extreme. Like, let's be honest. First of all, I don't believe humans evolved from single cell organisms over trillions of years or whatever. Like, I believe that God created humans, right? So whenever I hear some carnivore say, well, we evolved to eat meat, I'm like, well, that's a lie. All right, we didn't evolve to eat meat. All right. And secondly, God created man and He put them in a garden and told them to eat fruit. All right. But look, the carnivore diet is extreme. It's extreme. Throughout all of recorded human history, nobody ate that way. And actually, it's very difficult to actually eat that way. And if you are eating that way, like, modern day carnivores have the luxury of going to Whole Foods and buying grass-fed steak and cuts of meat from these cows that have been, like, bred to Like even if cavemen were real, they weren't eating agriculturally, generationally bred cows, right? And they weren't eating it every day, right? Maybe if they were lucky enough, like hunter-gatherer tribes, man, they don't even eat every day. So the modern concept of like carnivore, where you're like eating all this fat and meat every day, like historically that was not even possible, right? Now, I'm not gonna say that it's bad for you to be on a carnivore diet. I think there are times and places where a ketogenic diet can be very beneficial for people cognitively, metabolically. If you're sick and fat and out of shape, then periods of ketogenesis can be very beneficial. However, if you're not sick and you're not fat and you're very active, you are gonna run yourself into the ground on a carnivore diet. Because I've tried it, man. I've tried it. I've tried carnivore. I've tried vegan for extended periods of time. All right, we're talking months. I'm very extreme, all right? I'm a very extreme person. I like to try stuff. And the one thing I can say about a carnivore diet is you will feel like garbage unless you're fat. Like all these fat people on carnivore, like, oh, I feel great. I lost 50 pounds. I feel amazing. Yeah, because you have all this fat on your body already. So your body's like eager to use that. But if you're lean and you're active, you're going to be running on empty. And ketogenesis is the emergency system. It's the backup generator. Our brains were meant to run on glucose. Yeah, you can turn fat into glucose, gluconeogenesis. You can do that, but it's not. It's the backup emergency system, right? Something's not right. It's your body saying, "Whoa, something's wrong. We better flip on the emergency generator while we're waiting for some carbs to come in." It's not very efficient. It's not very efficient to get your energy from fat only. Your body has to transform that fat into carbs. It's a big, long process, right? And when I tried it, I felt like absolute crap. I had no energy at all. I was tired. I was lethargic. I was depressed. Horrible, horrible, horrible feeling, all right? We got some super chats in the house. Shout out to Script. Please take a look at some entry levels on TAO. Yeah, we can, man. Shout out to Izzy Ali. Can you look at VeChain? Yeah, man. Are the bearish divs still good? I mean, I wouldn't be shorting here. I would not be shorting this. The next place I would look for a short, if the bear divs are still good, it was we need a retracement back to the support resistance flip around 112. All right, so the moves happened here. If we get a bounce, this would be the next place to look for short, down to 109.5. You know, I would not be shorting the low. The only thing I would be doing here is taking a long trade because we're above POC, stop below the low. Technically, I'd be targeting 115,000, but I tried the vegan diet too. It felt like absolute crap. Achy joints. Achy joints. So I've never had worse back pain and joint pain than when I was vegan. And I was vegan. I gave it like a good half year. I didn't even put together the fact that the veganism was causing my problems until, because I wasn't an ethical vegan. I was just experimenting with it, right? Not like an ethical vegan here saying like it's bad to kill animals. I'll never eat animals again. It was just like I'm just gonna cut out all animal products. Why not? I pretty much was vegetarian already, mostly eating dairy and eggs for my protein, a little bit of chicken and fish at the time. So I said, why not just throw all that stuff out, right? Tofu, seitan. I should have known veganism was bad when I'm eating Satan, right? Just kidding. But yeah, after a few months, I started having like really bad joint pains and back pains. I'm like, what is going on? So anyway, I went on vacation with my family and I ate steak every night. And then all my pains went away after a week. I thought, huh. Now, I to the best of my ability, I did the vegan thing the right way. I was supplementing with vitamin B12. I was supplementing with iodine, right? But even still, it just my body did not like it. Extremes are not good. All right. I think balance is good. All right, so this is TAO. I guess back in February we were looking for a bounce from this box. We did get a little bounce, but then we came much lower. So let's remove all this stuff. Okay, bouncing from the golden pocket. I mean, I'd say a really good entry point would be 237 to 240. It's the 786, the value area low of the range. You know, we came up to value area high. We're below POC. So anything now, like this would be an amazing place to get in. This right here. Yeah, I mean, it's really tough to look for a buy right now because we're below the POC. So it is tough here. Obviously, a new low is preferred. A new low is preferred to get in. The juiciest place would be historic support at around 239. You know, around 239. A POC, that's a point of control. It's the highest volume node of the whole sideways range. Is this a marathon stream? Kind of, I guess, right? Where do I get my beef and poultry? I get it from a local farm primarily. If I'm in a pinch, I'll try to get quality stuff from a grocery store. But in general, we order our meat and poultry from a local farm, and we get it in bulk too. Like, we've got giant freezers full of it. And we you know, we've been to the farm. We know the farmers. I mean, we don't know them like that, but we've talked to them. We appreciate their lifestyle. I appreciate their spiritual views on things, and you know, it's just good to know where the food comes from, to see the animals, you know how they're raised and all that. And it honestly just tastes way better. It's definitely not in my head. All right, VeChain. Man. So, like, just off the bat here, it's pretty obvious that the best entry is going to be a new low, because we're building liquidity here, right? We have a low, we have a higher low, we're consolidating around the POC in a symmetrical triangle right here. We would form a very bullish divergence on the weekly if we dip down below the low, come to the POC. That would obviously be our best shot here at a long. Right now, do I see a good entry on VeChain? Well, we're consolidating here at fair price. I mean, this is fair price is fair price could get in a triangle. So you could gamble it and say, oh, I'm going to gamble that we're going to break out. Cool. You could gamble it and say, I gamble we're going to break down. Cool. The problem with those types of trades is very difficult to know where to put the stop loss, right? If we're looking at a more macro perspective here, assuming that the low was in on May 2023, then just based on a risk to reward perspective, like on a spot holding for VeChain, assuming you're bullish on VeChain, I'm assuming you are, it still is pretty good in the sense that, you know, with the stop loss under the 2023 low, assuming a new all-time high, that's we're risking one to make 20. So objectively speaking here, that's pretty good, right? It's a pretty good place to get in for a long-term hold if you're bullish on VeChain. I think the risk to reward is absolutely amazing here, right? We put it back on log scale. It still looks good on log scale. Put it on linear, and it looks absolutely phenomenal, right? So yeah, like for a long-term hold on VeChain, I feel like it's pretty good thing, you know. VeChain is a garbage coin alert. You buy collectible guitars and some gold. Bitcoin is meh. Yeah, I like guitars. Here, let me show you guys a guitar I got here. All right, I've got myself right here. This is a nice Les Paul. It's pretty juicy. It's pretty much the only electric guitar I own right now. I used to own many guitars. It's the only one I own right now. I haven't played it in a very long time. It is a very nice guitar. So much blue for a guy allergic to blue. I know, I mean, blue is my favorite color, right? So the way I got that guitar is actually, I was playing guitar in my congregation where I go to church. And my son pushed the guitar over and it broke. All right, it was an acoustic guitar. It was an acoustic guitar, and it was a really cheap acoustic guitar. It didn't even have. It wasn't even acoustic electric. It was just a really cheap like acoustic guitar, right? I'm like, well, I might as well go to Guitar Center and get a new acoustic guitar, right? So I'll be honest with you. I'm really not into material things at all. Like in life, I live a very simple lifestyle. I don't buy nice things, right? But something came over me that day where I walked into Guitar Center and I thought to myself, you know, it's funny, I used to be a full-time musician. I literally was a full-time musician. That was my full-time gig, all right, for 3 years. My band, we toured internationally. I played a show every single day, 9 months a year, all right? But back then I was super broke. Couldn't afford anything, all right? I had to like sell everything I had to like get my equipment, right? And I used to just dream about walking into a guitar store and saying, you know what, I could get anything I want, right? So I walked into the guitar store and I thought to myself, you know, I could get anything I want right now. I could, all right? So of course I was looking at the nice Martin acoustics because I love Martin acoustic guitars, just the way they play, smooth as butter, man. So I walked in and just to make sure that the guys would pay me attention, I let them know I'm here to buy an expensive guitar, I said. Because I don't want to wait 35 hours for the stupid Guitar Center guy to help me out when he's helping some 12-year-old kid find some guitar picks, you know? Because I know they get commissioned, so they're like, ooh, okay, let me help this guy out, right? And I said, and I'm probably going to buy an electric guitar too. And there was an electric guitar that I had in mind that I wanted to get, right? It was the, you know, people are going to laugh when they see this guitar. This is my all-time favorite guitar, but I'll show you. This is the guitar I had in mind. You guys are never gonna believe this, but my two favorite colors really are purple and blue. All right. So I was really interested in an LTD EC 1000 Deluxe, either a purple with the quilted maple or the blue with the quilted maple. All right. So either this purple one here or this blue one here. My two favorite guitars. I used to always want one of these, and I never could find a blue or a purple one. Right. I had a red one at a period of time, but I had to sell it. Because back when you're a real musician, you got to sell everything because you're always broke. All right. So I got a Martin, and then I'm like, do you guys, is there any chance you have one of these guitars or could order one of these guitars? And they said, no, there's no chance. And they said, we could order one for you from the factory. It would take months. And I said, well, by the time you order it, I'll be over it already because I don't really play guitar anymore. So, nah, forget about it. But then I look up on the wall and there's that blue Les Paul, you know? It's very similar to the LTD guitar. It's a blue Les Paul. And the price on this thing is like $3,000. I'm like, that's a pretty expensive guitar. And they were trying to like get me to look at the guitar, right? And they were telling me, look, it's got a problem. The headstock, when we brought it off the truck, somebody custom ordered it here. When we were taking it off the truck, it fell and it cracked the headstock. But it's been repaired, and it's a really good repair. But we haven't been able to sell it for 5 years. Well, anyway, I got them to lower the price for me down to like just under $2,000 for the guitar. So I just had to buy it. It is a beautiful Les Paul. But and I don't play it. So I don't regret not having the LTD EC 1000. But that's how I ended up getting that guitar. It is a beautiful guitar. I really do like it. Yeah, so yeah, someone said the price of that guitar is over $5,000. Yeah, they gave me a really good deal because it was broken, they couldn't sell it. What day is the Sabbath? Saturday or Sunday? I don't know. Why don't you ask anybody who speaks Spanish, you know? Ask a Spanish person, what day is the Sabbath? Is it Sábado or is it Domingo? Is it the Sabbath or is it the Lord's Day? Which day is the Sabbath day? Is the Sabbath or is the Lord's Day the Sabbath? I don't know. You got to tell me, R-Pink, because I'm not a theologian. Yeah, it was a good bargain. I couldn't say no to it, right? I really could not say no to that guitar. All right, Bitcoin's struggling here. I would not be surprised if we get another drip down here, honestly. Yeah, headstock breaks are super common with Les Pauls. You know, I used to have a Les Paul Studio that I had to sell for $250 on a truck stop on a highway when I was 17 years old because I had no money. But that Les Paul Studio also had a headstock crack, the same exact injury. And I had it repaired, and it's good as new. I mean, really. In fact, they say it's even better after the repair. But, yeah, it's a good guitar. Yeah, Ozzy, I got you, bro. Look, I already made the change, Ozzy, so they haven't responded back to me yet, okay? So, he hasn't responded back to me yet. He'll respond back to me. He'll get you your stuff, all right? Don't worry, Ozzy. Don't worry, man. I got you. Litecoin. Look, I'm bullish on Litecoin in general. I feel like Litecoin has a really good chance of pumping like crazy simply because of similarities to Bitcoin. Once people start to really realize what Bitcoin is, I think people are going to realize that Litecoin is also very similar fundamentally. So, look, Litecoin also has a very large symmetrical triangle forming here. All right. very similar to ETH. And on top of this, everything about it is looking pretty bullish, okay? The fact that we're above the POC, yeah, we're finding some resistance at value area high. So we start to break out, in my opinion, and look, you could obviously draw this in many different ways here. You could even say that we've already kind of gotten a breakout and a retest. You know, if you're going to draw this on log scale, the very, 1-2 taps. But, you know, this is generally. I'd say that when we start to hold the value area high, which is about $1.25 as support, that's going to be where the big move really begins on Litecoin. We look at the monthly, and we are seeing the confirmed green dot. We look at the 2 monthly. I mean, it just looks really good to me. I don't know. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. I would not be surprised if we see Litecoin at $500. But do I hold a lot of Litecoin? I don't hold a lot of Litecoin. I do hold some Litecoin. But it's mostly left over from like 2 bull runs ago. I haven't bought any. What's going on with AX? Lots of stuff is going on with AX. Big updates. Mobile apps should be ready like in a week or 2. It's already, the beta version is already ready. Already ready. Yeah, Litecoin was a fork of Bitcoin back in the day. But is it just me, or do guitars from other people always feel and play better? I feel like that is true, bro, because, you know, I remember when I was a kid, my friend had this this Ibanez Prestige, and it was the best guitar ever. And I could never find an Ibanez Prestige that felt as good as his guitar. You know? You know, that's the thing about guitars, is like they're all a little bit different because they're made of wood, right? They're not AI. It's not like a keyboard, right? They're made of different cuts of wood, like a different tree. So sometimes you just get a guitar and there's something special about that guitar. I had a guitar that I really loved. It was also an LTD. It was the MH, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it was it the MH? Was it the H? Or was it the M? I can't find it now. What guitar I used to have. I mean, I guess I could show you a picture of it, but I don't really want to do that. But yeah, it was one of those guitars where it was really nice. You know, it was really nice. It was a really nice guitar. Man, we still have 700 people watching a 3-hour live stream where we're literally talking about guitars. Yeah, when the setup is perfect and it has that mojo, for sure. Alright guys, well, we have been on for 3 hours, so I'm going to head out. May God bless everyone in Jesus' name. May the Lord bless you. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And Lord willing, I'll see you next week. Peace.